Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the Object 704. It's a Tier 9 Soviet tank destroyer. It's located on the northeast spawn of Karelia, and this one's under the command of FiliPer1n0.
Time to roll out.
Game on. Haven't seen a game from FiliPer1n0 for a while. I think we do have a few that are waiting production from way back. But yes, he's actually chosen to play the 704, which is a combination of an IS-2 and an IS-3, a tank destroyer that was developed in 1945 as an upgrade to the ISU-152. There was only one prototype. It's currently at Kubinka, and it didn't get put into production. Now, in the game, it did have the BL-10, which is capable of considerable damage. You can see here 750 alpha. This is not the BL-10, by the way. 750 alpha, 286 millimeters of pen, and with the premium rounds, it's capable of doing 329 millimeters of armor, and it's very fast on the shell as well, 1,100. So point and shoot. Now, he didn't get through the T-57. I think it was a T-57 that he actually hit, but that guy, well, he obviously felt that because he pulled back. Now we've got a couple of tanks we can hit, and yes, he does get a hit into the Conqueror and a high roll for 797. Standard reload is 16.4 seconds. FiliPer1n0's got down to 13.3. And his next hit was on the T-57 Heavy. He got another high roll for 803. You can see you can rack up a huge amount of damage in relatively little time with this tank destroyer. Now, what lets this tank destroyer down is actually the fact that its armor isn't that stellar. It's only got 120 millimeters at the front, 90 at the side, 60 at the rear, and no, that one went into the dirt. And of course, the problem is that it's quite wide at the front, and so it's fairly easy for the enemy to hit. He did better with that one. In fact, he got a fire. 705 took a big hit and then took a fire afterwards. He got a low roll on the actual hit itself, but then he picked up another 277 hit points in the actual fire, and that guy's very unhappy. He's pulled back. And the Yak Tiger's unhappy now because he just took a massive hit and another high roll for 797. FiliPer1n0's up to 4,172 so far. And I reckon that T-57 Heavy is about to die. Yep, he's gone. Now, this tank actually did pass all the trials, but it never entered service because the war was already over, so they didn't need another tank destroyer. They already had the ISU-152 and numerous other tank destroyers, and so this one was never produced, never put into operation. Now, it does have amazing damage per shot. It also has fairly exceptional camo, really, even though it's slightly big and slightly wide. Oh, and he gets another hit on the 705, but it's only 61 hit points from that one. He's going to stop firing the armor piercing very shortly because he's going to run out of them. And he's going to have to then use the premium rounds. Well, he hit the tracks. That's all I can say about that one. The bad thing about this is the long aim time. It does take rather a long time. Not as long as an Arty player to aim, but it does take a long time. He's got a blue dot there, so the moment it turns to yellow, he's got an okay shot. And he does. 742. Hugs the rock, though, because that guy was rather close, and he didn't want to be on the receiving end. It also has a fairly poor traverse, well, and speed-wise, it's not so great. It's only 37 kilometers an hour on max speed. And he's just blind killed a 705 at the other end. And has he decided to go? Yes, he's decided to go because there's precious few enemy left on this side of the battlefield. And so it's time for him to make a move to get closer to the enemy. Now, it is a high priority target for most Arty and also for other enemy tanks because, of course, that damage per minute it can do, it's quite phenomenal what it can do with each shot. So if you ever see a 704, you try to get rid of it as quickly as you can. Of course, remembering that the armor is fairly thin on the sides and for the front of actually, for that matter. The one thing it does have in its favor is that slope on the armor. It really is very, very well sloped. Yeah, nice shot into the Skoda. He did get spotted though, and yes, he's taking fire, but he's blocking it. He's waggling to make the shells fall off, and yeah, that Skoda managed to get one in. No, I think he's going to try and use the rock here for cover as he's taking shots at the Skoda. I don't think FiliPer1n0 actually anticipated the guys coming up onto the horseshoe. There you go. Yeah, got him. Yeah, he used the rock correctly and he got him. Now, the saving grace for the 704 is that this battle has no Arty. If there was Arty, 704 would suffer. Oh, he's got the commander's hatch and the Concrete. But he's looking for that little yellow dot before he shoots. Decides to go for the hull anyway, and he gets a high roll for 772. He's now up to 6,600, and closer to actually 6,700 hit points of damage. And he's decided to go up onto the horseshoe. Because it looks like some of the enemy tanks have actually gone over to the other side of the battlefield to try and block our approach from that direction. Noobs is up here. Hello, Mr. Noobs. Gun depression is only 6 degrees, which can be annoying in situations like this. But the Noobs is going to feel it if he gets hit, but he'll probably try and take it out on FiliPer1n0 afterwards. Well, he does get a hit in, and yes, he does get one shot onto FiliPer1n0 immediately afterwards. And I think that was a 120mm round, if I remember correctly. Oh! Now that's interesting, the angle at which that one went in, but the Noobs is down, and now we've got to deal with the Cobra. Okay. One shot, that's all it takes, and the Cobra is gone. That's his 4th kill. He's chomping away at these enemy tanks. Now, who's he going to get on the other side of the battlefield? I think they're so far away. Yes, they're just outside the view range, but yeah, still manages to get the Super Conch, and that's his 5th kill. And he might be able to get a Top Gun if he can kill the T-57 Heavy, but he's not being very cooperative, so hopefully he'll pull back. No, just missed him. The shell went directly behind the bustle. If it hits that guy's side on, or it hits the bustle of that T-57, then he's going to be toast. I think the Char Few 204 is going to spot him for us. Oh, now that one didn't work, but it certainly alerted the T-57 that he's got a problem behind him. I think he saw the Char Few 204 rather than us, but he's raised his gun because I think he knows it's over. That's a Top Gun. It's also just shy of 9,000 hit points of damage, and that is the end of the game. Well, that was an exceptional game by FiliPer1n0 in the Object 704. He got an ace tanker out of that one. Well, not surprising given the amount of damage. He also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 8. Got a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. And boy, did he do that. High caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. Well, that's unsurprising as well. And finally, he got a Top Gun with that last kill, and for getting at least 6 kills on the enemy. Let's have a look at team score. Well, Yes, he did get the highest damage in this game easily. Look at that, 8,943 hit points. The next highest scorer was the T-57 Heavy on the enemy team, and he recognized that his game was over because there was no way he was going to be able to reload in time. So he raised his gun in salute, and FiliPer1n0 put him out of the game just like that. 4,058 hit points went to that guy, so he had less than half the damage that FiliPer1n0 had. And in third place, we can see that it was the Leopard prototype with 3,814. When it came to kills, FiliPer1n0 got that one as well with 6 kills. And the next highest scorers only had 2. That was the TL7, the Leopard prototype, the Conqueror. And on the enemy team, their Skoda T50 and their Cobra had all 2 kills. And when it came to base XP, yep, he's got that one too. So he got the top in all 3 columns. 1,760 went to FiliPer1n0, 1,053 went to the Leopard prototype, and 1,047 went to the TL7. Those were the only 3 players who managed to get over 1,000, but the chart future 4 came very close with 979. He fired 25 rounds in that game, got 21 direct hits and 14 penetrations and 2 splash. Damage of 8,943 hit points, of which 6,515 were at more than 300 meters. A lot of damage done at long range. This is what this tank excels at doing because it's a long-range sniper. 3 hits received from the enemy, 2 of them were penetrations, 1 non-penetration, and 320 hit points of damage blocked by armor. Of course, yes, he did get hit by the Skoda and also by the UDES 16. 10 enemy vehicles were damaged, 6 were killed, 950 hit points of spotting assist. Now, he did earn a profit from that game, 14,995, even though he had to use premium rounds because he didn't have enough standard armor piercing left. He'd run out of them. But he also managed to get a mission completion payout of 5,280 on XP, so his total was 7,920. He did get a mission completion on the other one as well. In fact, if he hadn't had that mission completion, he would have made a loss due to that premium ammo. But there again, I suppose coming out of a profit on both is quite nice. But it was a really, really good game, and it shows how effective the Object 704 can be when it's played by the right person in the right circumstances. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.